Trail.
If you love the outdoors, then you'll have to check out the Eastern Trail. It keeps getting better and bigger.
It's been coming a long way since it was first proposed nearly 30 years ago. A new 1.6-mile portion just opened up back on August 6th.
The Close the Gap section connected an area between the Wainwright Sports Complex in South Portland and Pleasant Hill Road in Scarborough. It creates a 16-mile continuous trail from Bug Light in South Portland all the way down to Saco.
Oh, join us this morning to talk about the new section and the plans for the future is Eliza Alexander. She is with the Eastern Trail Alliance. Thanks for coming on.
So happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's first talk about the history of the Eastern Trail. Not just 1997, but way back before then, when a lot of people probably don't know this, there was a railroad right there.
There sure was. And it's so fun for people who are using the trail between Bug Light all the way down to Old Orchard Beach. You can imagine the trails with buggies on them, horse and carriages, and then the trains, and then further along trolleys. You know, it was connecting Portland down to Boston for a long time, the old trailway, and then also bringing Canadian tourists by trolley down to Old Orchard Beach to enjoy vacation. So there's a lot of history on the trail. And then in 1945, things changed, and the trail, we fell in love with our cars, and so all of the railroad area turned over into Greenway, and so that became like a great right of way for us to develop.
So what has been the vision since the first idea of this Eastern Trail?
Yeah. So it's such a wonderful story because this is a story, I like to talk about the Eastern Trail Alliance as a place of connections because it's been a place for people to connect and for us to make a physical connection in southern Maine for people to be able to walk and enjoy the outdoors. But it really started with this wonderful group of friends in the late 90s who got together. They were conservationists, they were dear friends, they were led by our founder, John Andrews. And together they just decided they didn't have any experience in trail building, but they decided they wanted to build a greenway and started engaging with local, townships and really figuring out how they were going to get this done. They incorporated it in the early 2000s, and really from there it's been this wonderful love project of building 65. We have the Eastern Trail right now is 65 miles long with a combination of on-road and off-road segments.
Yeah, for folks who have never been on the Eastern Trail, Stephanie and I have both been on there.
Yeah.
Talk about the landscape of the trail and what you can see.
Well, everybody has kind of their favorite parts. I fell in love when I started my job. I did the full moon walk on the Scarborough Marsh, which is like one of the most wonderful things. Our next one is actually on Thursday. We offer them every full moon. We all get together and take a walk through the marsh, and just to see the beautiful moon rising up over the marsh, that for me is absolutely delightful. And I know people have been really thrilled with our new 1.6-mile segment that connects Wainwright Field. It's just beautifully constructed and is accessible for all different types of users, young families, the elders, and also bike riders. So it's
Eliza,
great.
my husband and I tried it out for the first time last week. Oh my goodness, it's awesome.
It is so great.
So how much use does the Eastern Trail get?
We are actually in the middle right now of doing a study of understanding what the implications are for this 1.6-mile new addition, because we've seen usage go way up just in the very short time we've been open since August 6th. And we're really hoping that usage continues to grow for people who are using the trail to commute to work, perhaps, getting out more for just physical exercise. So we're just seeing numbers climbing and climbing.
You mentioned it briefly. Now, they closed the gap section. How important was that to do, and what has the feedback been?
The feedback has been overwhelmingly positive, and it was, again, when I talk about the commitment of this group of friends, it was not just these friends and activists that were really working to build the trail, but a whole series of different stakeholders, the town of Scarborough and South Portland, MDOT, federal funding, and many, many generous donors who gave every year to make sure we were making our matches and able to really fund the trail build. So it was a long 20-year project. It had many twists and turns.
20-year project.
20 years, yep, and over $7 million to put together 1.6 miles. It was
$7 million,
yep,
wow.
Yep.
And it was on schedule to be complete, or at least open by October of 2027, so a year ahead of schedule. How did that happen?
We are just so fortunate. Shaw Brothers just came and delivered, and once we did the groundbreaking a year ago, it just moved much faster than anticipated, and we're just so joyful to find out that we were able to open up and bring this forward. Also, in the summer, you know, so that people can really
Very true.
have advantage of it during the month of August and September.
Yeah, we talked about the past, we talked about the present. Now let's talk about the future. You want to get all the way down to Kittery and also beyond, right? I mean, all the way to Florida or something?
Well, we're an interesting part of a coalition called the East Coast Greenway, which their mission is to connect all the way from Machias, Maine, down to the Florida Keys. And so we are part of a whole number of small nonprofits that are working to make greenways all the way connecting through. And so right now we have 32% of off-road greenway built in Maine.
Okay.
So we still have a ways to go. We have 170 miles that are still, and I'm speaking on behalf of the entire state of Maine right now. In terms of the Eastern Trail, we are 65 miles long down to Kittery, and we are turning our attention really south to try to get more off-road greenway built so that we can, and we have a number of different projects that we're working on. And if you go to our website, you can see each of those walked out in detail and how we're engaging with different municipalities and townships to make sure that happens.
So a lot of money invested, but you would argue very much well worth it.
Oh, we have just had so many joyful messages. We had a wonderful ribbon cutting when we had the Maine Ideal Band came and played music, and there was just this joyful kind of explosion of people riding their bikes and taking a walk for the first time on the new
It's just
trail.
so nice to see so many people active, whether it's hiking, riding their bikes,
It
bird
is.
watching, or whatever, yeah.
It's lovely. Well, Eliza, thank you for coming on to Arc May and telling us about this new section.
Oh, so happy to be here. Thank you for
Yeah,
having
I
me.
got to go out to Bug Light and take it all the way to
gotta
at
check
least
it out.
Saco.
Oh,
At least Saco. Okay.
yeah.
Absolutely, and I hope that people will join us on September 19th. We have our Maine Lighthouse Ride. It's one of our big signature events where people can really get a sense of the trail. We're going to incorporate a new part of the trail into the ride, and that's a huge joyful festivity that we have every year.
Awesome.
So come ride with us.
Yeah, there you go. And the full moon Thursday, all right?